Welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast. My name is Mark Storrs, and hanging out with me as always is
Uncle Bobby Boy.
Uncle Bobby Boy.
Oh, boy.
And
oh, Chris.
Chris, thank you all so very much. Yes, back doing it. Cryptonaut podcast, making it happen. Shout outs to everybody across the pond that sent us messages.
Oh, boy.
Because we don't know nothing. We don't know shit from dick about Britain, England. We don't even know what the hell the UK is.
Don't know anything.
We have no idea.
If we ever needed proof positive that, as Mark said, we don't know shit about dick, it is that podcast. Granted, it was swiftly put together, but I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't know if we're worse historians, zoologists, linguists, or fucking cartographers.
It's kind of a little bit of all of those.
It just is amazing the shit we don't know. I assumed that was me. That's what I get because, I mean, it's not like I don't have access to Google. I could have found out exactly who's in the UK, but no, I have like a vague memory of reading a fucking Encyclopedia Britannica, in all fairness, so it should have been accurate. In like third fucking grade when I had to do a report on this shit, and I was like, oh yeah, no, it's Canada, New Zealand, fucking Upper Umbria, fucking left testicula, and fucking everywhere else. But no, I don't know about that.
We did have a listener or leave a comment or a message somewhere that playing the bowls.
Oh.
Yeah, it's bocce.
Oh.
Yeah, which I love a good game of botch. It's one of my favorite summertime games next to cornhole.
Okay.
Bocce.
I just don't understand the bowls reference, but I'm glad to know. That makes sense. Here I am thinking he's like got like liquid and crystal and he's going,
yeah, he's doing one of those.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, but no, it's not that. He's just fucking playing some botch.
Yeah, man, a little bit of
I'm great at bocce. I love bocce ball.
Dude, I love it. A good friend of ours actually had a pretty rockin' bocce court.
Many years.
Yeah, for many years, sadly.
It's a garden.
It's a garden. It's a beautiful garden.
You can play bocce on said garden if you wanted to.
You could. Yeah, but those were like OG Sons of Italy bocce courts.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm sure
many a man lost his life.
Do you think?
On those courts.
Well, or at least a finger.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely a finger. Not when it was the Moose Club, but when it was the Italian Club, it probably got pretty dark, pretty heavy days.
Oh yeah. No, there is no joking around.
So yeah, we don't know anything about anything, and when we go back to it, we will probably know less.
Hey, you know what though? I love the fact that our listeners out there are like, y'all need some information. They clearly don't say y'all. They're like, you guys need some information.
No, classic British listeners.
And they hook us up. And we have some corrections for Patreon too. My whole idea with chlamydia and koalas and syphilis. Yeah, I got everything wrong.
Yeah.
We're still going to try to hold, but that's for Patreon.
That's for Patreon.
We're going to save that for that. We're here this week. We're talking the wild, weird world of Werecats.
Better believe it.
Ooh, dude. Like Michael Jackson Thriller territory.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
that
is a Werecat.
Dude, that should be the image I use on Instagram.
Only you can decide.
And they'll be like, why didn't you talk about Michael Jackson? I'll be like, because it's complicated. It's a tough subject to talk about.
It's true. We did talk about Michael Jackson. In fact, as far as I can recall, the only time we've been in this territory, and that is, of course, back in, I think I might even have this, episode 39, I think, the classic Wicamico Dump Cat Catman Odyssey.
Oh, okay. All right. Wow.
So,
the picture's up there.
We 100%. Oh, yeah, the illustration that was sent to us where it's like a punk rock flyer.
Yeah,
I love
awesome.
that.
It's the best.
So, that having been said, we definitely broached the subject of Michael Jackson's Thriller in that pod.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And the terror that, Chris and I particularly felt when watching it as children.
And there's definitely been a couple digressions on Patreon where we went deep into Thriller. Mm-hmm. Super deep.
Also, I have a pile of Catman illustrations that you can choose from.
Oh, that's right. Oh, shit, you do. That's right.
So you could do like a medley.
Okay.
Mr. Jackson there.
True.
Weird shit over there.
All right, man. You're going to email me those and we'll hook that shit up on Instagram.
Absitronically.
Love it. All right, let's get started with, though nowhere near as celebrated as their carnage crazy canine cousins, the notoriously vicious werewolves, for centuries, eyewitnesses claim to have encountered bizarre, bipedal felid-humanoids known collectively as werecats. But unlike their clearly cryptozoological contemporaries, many reported run-ins with these anthropomorphic animals give the impression that the human race may be coexisting with a secretive, supernaturally-infused species of intelligent cat people.
Cat people ahoy.
I don't know, man.
I'm in.
The Squatch, I get it. I don't. But the cat people?
Well, it's easy to accept because, we're a primate-centric race.
Yeah.
And these are fellow primates, allegedly. So, okay.
Yep.
They're existing. They're bipedal. We're bipedal. on some, level, it makes logical sense to us.
Right.
But bipedal, anthropomorphic, like you were saying, cats makes zero sense to us.
No.
Yet, here we are.
I mean, we did,
yeah.
we did
I don't know
have
what
the
that means,
comical
but
cat,
here we
man.
are.
Now, when I found these stories, I quickly sent them to you.
Oh, yeah, you did. You get credit in here.
And I said, Robert, these are going to be Patreons, or you're going to turn these into something else. It's going to be, I gave the choice to you. And then 3 o'clock in the morning, when I found that second story, I said, the choice is no longer yours, good sir.
Oh,
it's
all right.
It's true.
Yeah.
You forced it.
He decreed it.
I did. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is my choice.
No, Mark said, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I took the liberty as a writer of including a couple of extra accounts.
Oh.
But boy, will we frost this cake in reverse. Or actually, in the right time, you make the cake first, you frost it at the end.
There you go.
The last 2 stories are the ones you brought to the table.
Ooh,
and
nice.
they're fucking lovely.
All right, man. Well, fucking let's do this, dude.
Okay. Although cryptozoology in particular and contemporary culture in general seem to be preoccupied with a very narrow scope of semi-supernatural canid-centric crossbreeds, the aforementioned werewolves as well as the equally nasty dogmen, which of course implies either a more transformative occult creature or I guess just a constant hybrid cryptid, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
Totally.
The fact is, from a time immemorial, our ancient ancestors, whether hailing from Africa, Asia, Europe, or the New World, were all seemingly obsessed with the idea of therianthropic beings, the usually powerful and often dangerous, entities who combine the attributes of animals and humans and were often worshipped as gods. The most prolific of these pantheons is almost certainly that of Pharaonic Egypt, whose hybrid deities included animals of all stripes, from baboons to beetles to cobras, hippos, dolphins, scorpions, frogs, crocs, jackals, and birds out the wazoo. But among their favorites were the cheetah-headed goddess of judgment, justice, and execution, Mafdet, as well as Bastet, the goddess of health, fertility, and childbirth, and her sister Sekhmet, who, born from the flames of the sun god Ra's eyes, was the goddess of war and destruction. So you got the whole gamut.
They have all of them, yeah.
From, childbirth and health to like war and annihilation.
Yeah, they're all super cool animal
Kitty
hybrid
cats.
people.
And judgment and justice and execution. These are like the preoccupying thoughts of a lot of early people. Like, why are things fair? What will my good works be, seen or forgotten?
Right.
All sorts of things. Cats represent all of these foundational things.
Sure.
I mean, Anubis and others, Thoth or whatever, I know say it right. These cover like, important aspects too, Osiris, but it's pretty interesting that the cats get a lot of the most important jobs dealing with life.
Interesting.
As well as being enchanted by hybrid beasts, cultures throughout history have been transfixed by the regal bearing, sleek, sinuate grace, and terrifying penchant for spontaneous savagery found in wildcats. In fact, nearly everywhere in the world where big cats dwell, the human population has held these creatures in a thrall of fascination, fear, and ultimately veneration. And it definitely should be noted that these disparate groups, separated by both time and once insurmountable distances, have almost to the last legends regarding as yet unknown species of predatory cat-human hybrids. Officially known as ailuranthropes, I think I got that right, from the Greek roots ailuros meaning cat and anthropos meaning human, nearly every corner of the globe boasts its own version of the werecat or catman. From Argentina's, hombre gato, which leads me to the one sentence I can say in Spanish, which is exactly this. El hombre gato es muy grande.
The cat man is awesome.
Is very big.
Oh, damn it.
That's it.
Damn it. How did I not get grande?
In all
It's
fairness,
big.
until
But it is awesome.
a couple days ago, hombre wasn't a part of that sentence. All I knew how to say was the cat is very big. But now I can say the cat man is very big.
The cat is very big. Okay, cool.
So
Hombre.
Argentina's hombre gato and scads of other werejaguars of Central and South America, which, by the way, doesn't get doper. I mean, I know we've got lots of fucking crazy were things, were hyenas, were shits everywhere, but in terms of cats, fucking were jaguars. Come on. It's just dope to me.
Kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scary, but
So
cool.
from the were-jaguars to the savage were-tigers of Indonesia and Malaysia, known to locals as the harimau jadian, which also is a really cool old movie, like a black and white movie that you can find on YouTube with no subtitles. Because if you're a hardcore cult movie fan, you don't need that shit.
No.
Chris and I know those deals, and so do you, Mark.
Like all the Turkish movies.
Oh yeah, all of them.
Yeah, I prefer the
Did not have
dubs. I know,
subtitles.
I'm a traitor.
Oh no,
but-
well I don't. I mean, I prefer subtitles to at least know. I don't mind dubs, especially if they're particularly cheesy from a certain era, like say the Wang Wang movies.
Yeah.
True.
But if when in doubt, I'm not going to not watch a movie just because I don't understand the language.
That's true.
That having been said, check it out if you're into weird shit. Otherwise, I know I'm stopping a lot. To the were-panthers of Europe and the variations of were-lions and were-leopards found in African lore, the planet seems riddled with these cat-like creatures. So the only thing I couldn't find is Australia. I don't know if there's any big cats indigenous to it, and I don't know if there's any Aboriginal legends associated with it. I'm not saying it's not the case, or some weird. I'm sure there's were marsupials out the wazoo there too, but I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know of any that are associated with cats.
That was a howling and part of the howling
Howling
series.
3, the
Yeah,
marsupials.
the marsupials. Yeah.
Were they like? What were they like? Thylacine?
I don't
werewolves?
even remember.
We already screwed up
neither
the
do I.
I have
whole
no memory of that
the
movie.
whole koala bear chlamydia.
Yeah, we don't know
versus
shit.
Whatever.
We are clearly owing Australia an apology.
Yeah, that's gonna be on Patreon.
Sorry, Australia.
Sorry, Australia.
Okay. Skeptics, of course, are quick to point out that there is not one shred of evidence to support the existence of any animal-human hybrids, and as far as I know, they're absolutely correct. But then, what are we to make of the fact that, for millennia, people have claimed to have had harrowing encounters with these ferocious fiends and others of their ilk? Could it be as simple as they transform back into a human after perishing, as seen in so many werewolf movies? Or is it something even more extraordinary that is going on? Before we get into the theories behind the potential existence of werecats, let's first get into some accounts. And it will come as no surprise to avid listeners of this podcast that among the scores of modern reports from those who've purported to have run-ins with these sometimes fierce semi-felines, the stories we've decided to focus on go beyond the merely creepy into the realm of the unrepentantly weird. And we have our own inimitable Mark Storrs to thank for bringing two of the craziest cat creature tales to the table.
Hi.
Wave to the crowd.
I'm waving to the crowd. Hey guys, what's up? Patreon.
That's you, buddy.
You can see me. I'm waving. Hey. Hey.
Our first case is as brief as it is bizarre and comes to us from Reddit in the form of a post titled Possible Catman Encounter in Georgia 16 years ago. Written in March of 2024 by a user named Turbulent Pop 51, the first-hand account begins, I am 20 years old now, but when I was 4, I had a strange experience that I think I have a lead on. I was in Georgia, down south, he adds in parentheses for, I guess, those who don't know.
Not the European Georgia.
Or that's fair. Not yet the country. That makes sense. And I have been hearing about a catman. I take these things with a grain of salt, but this seemed too good. The events that led to this encounter are as follows. I will continue quoting. It was late at night and the power went out. There were no storms, but I can't remember if there was any heavy wind or anything. I woke up out of a feeling of something being wrong and got scared. I tried to run to my parents' room, but was stopped in the hallway by 2 cat-like figures.
Oh, boy. All right.
They were close to human in height and were pitch black. The hallway was very dark, but I could still see them kind of dark. One of them grabbed my wrist tightly, and when I fought back, it suddenly froze and let go. I ran back to my room and hid for the rest of the night and never fell asleep. That and the fact that I never forgot this and still have a fear of the dark because of it is the reason I am not convinced this was a dream. I've had other strange experiences that make me believe in the paranormal as well. He continues. I've looked for reasoning in things like the Bible due to my mom becoming very religious due to her own experiences in that house. I am not religious and despise organized religion, but hey, you gotta look everywhere. Laugh my ass off. So that's his position.
Fair.
I did find some things about how demons freeze when they are confronted, but when talking to others who have claimed to see demons, their own depiction never matched mine. Well, to pause there for a second, I don't know where the freezing demon lore comes from, unless you're talking about like Chinese Ghost Story 2.
I've never heard of you spying a demon and they're like,
yeah,
like
the frozen mannequin demon.
I've never, like,
neither have I.
Just pretend to be a lamp. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, I'm sure there's some lore somewhere.
I'm sure.
In some book written by somebody, sold on the internet, probably Amazon self-titled, and they're like, well, you see demons, and then there you go. And that exact accent, well, you see demons. There
yeah,
you
go.
Right,
nailed
perfect.
it. Whatever it was.
Yeah, there you go.
No, that makes sense. And also the fact that they don't match. Well, demonic descriptions are
No,
rarely.
I mean, they're across the board. Like
the Boschian, medieval
Yeah.
devils of yore. They're across the fucking board.
Yeah,
I don't know if you-
they're small, big,
yeah.
pointy, not pointy, glowing eyes, not glowing eyes, wings, horns,
Yeah.
tails.
Absolutely.
None of the above, all the
Animal
above.
hybrids,
Like-
super chimeras, all sorts
mean-
of bullshit. Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, demons,
Yeah.
it could be, but I mean, who knows?
All right.
Okay. I recently started hearing things about a cat man. It's a stretch due to the fact that they are depicted as 9 feet tall. Well, some accounts are. Most aren't, to be honest. But that's their experience, so I'm going with it. However, this one was human-sized. There was also two, and I take it by the name Catman, that there is only one creature like this, even if it is somehow real. And again, that's another problem. I remember when I was a kid, and like sometimes a paranormal documentary would be like, well, it's called a Bigfoot, but it's not the Bigfoot. There is a population of Big feet.
Yeah,
It's called Nessie, but there's got to be a colony or we're
Right.
fucked, because it's not one weird thing living for thousands of years, unless, like Mark, you think it was a demon all along.
right.
100% it is. Dude, cat person world. Like werewolf world, but Catman world.
Absolutely. I mean, we've dealt with
Yeah.
the werewolf dimension on Patreon briefly.
We have.
And so now we have that. That's another thing that sits on the table with the beaties and the devil and all the sundry other
Yeah,
shit
dude.
that is collected there, because you can't take off cat people world dimension off the table.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
I'm not saying it deserves a prominent place
Christopher,
of veneration.
If I may, Occam's razor, good sir.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you just really misuse that so much, but it's fine.
100%.
It's just totally fine.
Dude, we don't know shit from Dick. It's okay.
That's fair.
It's okay.
I really
Okay, yeah, just lean into it.
Oh, 100%. You kidding me? The listeners love when I do that. They never leave comments ever. Robert, continuing.
T-Pop 51 added.
Oh,
I've shortened it just for
Okay.
convenience.
That's fine.
I could feel its skin and its grip on me, so I think it might not be of the supernatural variety and was more of a physical creature. I don't know if this group actually believes in cryptids. Now he's actually addressing the Reddit group,
okay.
which I think was cryptids where I found this. But I have been thinking about this for 16 years now, so if anyone has any ideas, please let me know. Creepy, yet evidently corporeal shadow cats in a hallway may strike most as the remnants of a terrible, nightmarish fever dream or a waking hallucination. But if this incident, did indeed occur as the witness claims, then what are we to make of these things? And more alarming still, what were their intentions with this 4-year-old boy? Were they demons, aliens, fae, cryptids, or more importantly, were they trying to commune with him or merely consume him? It's likely we'll never know, and the experiencer is probably very lucky that he never found out.
I mean, the lights go out and the Catmen appear.
Mm.
I'm assuming predatorily appearing, like not like let's go to the dance, or hey, we're going to the mall, or hey, we're going to Target. Like,
I mean, that's fair. You have to assume the worst.
yeah,
but
you have to.
that doesn't mean that that's actually what their agenda was.
True.
We don't know.
Maybe there was a dope cat party somewhere.
Sure.
Like, hey, we're gonna screech and piss all over everything.
Maybe they needed a litter boy to do some shoveling. And they would have returned him after, but with
maybe.
a nice tip,
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's a giant litter box. It's gross. Big
Ooh.
human cat like.
I mean, where else
Catman
would you throw
human-sized
like
shits?
a Catman rave, but a giant litter gym
It would have to be, yeah.
with
A
flashing
desert.
lights and
The Corey,
catnip
dude.
ahoy?
Go to not the Corey, the sand dunes. Over
Sand
near,
dunes.
yeah, dude,
Oh.
over near the lake, the sand dunes.
Oh my God, they
man.
would love Burning Man. I wonder if they go there. I mean,
They
literally,
like
they're
desert, they
surrounded
like
by
sand,
a giant
right? Yeah.
bathroom, and then they can do whatever
that
the
is
fuck they
true.
want,
Yeah,
cat-wise.
there you go. And then they can eat all the children.
Which, by the way, it doesn't
Yeah.
mean that I'm like being an elitist here. I think cat people occasionally shit in a toilet. I mean, they probably have figured ways to get the tail out of the way, and the way everybody figures out ways to negotiate certain things that they have to deal with. So,
I mean, yeah, I maybe some do, maybe some don't. Maybe some are old school. Maybe...
but I would not want to use a Burning Man porta potty if I had an open desert to shit in. And that's me speaking as a straight up human.
So that's going to be your contribution
Yeah.
to Burning Man is Rob
I don't know.
shitting in the desert.
Yeah, I'll dig the hole. I'll bury it. I'm not going to just shit in the desert, call it art, and call it a day.
Just fucking to the high as the fucking kite on Molly. Just like, where's Rob? Oh, he's shitting in the desert.
Shit
Oh,
in the
no.
yeah.
Again.
He has the heat shits again. Oh no.
At Burning Man, I would definitely get the mad heat shit.
Yeah,
I would
man,
have to take.
you
I would have
and
to
Chris
make
both.
like Imodium cocktails.
Yeah, Jesus. All right. Well,
So-
moving on.
Keeping it classy, moving on. Our second case was found in the incredible archives of yourghoststories.com. Lots of cool shit in there, including a whole humanoid section, which I love.
Oh, totally.
And deals with a reality-shifting experience shared by a self-professed middle-aged woman and lover of fairy lore with the username Solveig. Am I saying that right? Solveig?
Solveig.
So, yeah, either one sounds.
Solveig.
I'm going to go with Solveig.
Yeah, it works.
Hailing from Pennsylvania. The event in question occurred in the pre-dawn hours sometime in 2024. Nope, 2014. My bad. It's a decade ago. Just as the witness and her unnamed boyfriend were getting ready to face the rigors of the day. Here is the account in her own words. This incident happened about 10 years ago, and every word is truth, as I recall it. It's not something easily forgotten. I was living in my grandparents' home after they both had passed on. Having grown up there, I was infinitely familiar with the house, surrounding area, and all of the indigenous critters thereabout. But I had never seen anything like this. It was early morning, just before sunrise, just enough light to see outside. The TV was on, catching morning news before going to work. Everything completely normal. I could hear the kids getting ready for school down the hall from my room. My boyfriend and I were chatting about something irrelevant. He was standing a few feet from the window facing me. I turned to face him while we talked. There's a little pause there. A movement outside the window caught my attention. I stopped talking mid-sentence, just like I did a second ago. There was something outside that window. It had a face. I couldn't quite make it out in the dim light. I moved closer to the window. It was moving too. It was low. I bent over. At first I thought I was seeing a reflection in the glass. As I focused, what I saw made me make a sound I had never heard come from my mouth before. Something between a gasp and a muffled scream. And she writes, "Oh, oh." And I felt weak in the knees.
Oh, it's magic.
You know. It was close to our house, maybe a foot outside the window, leaving 3 or 4 feet between us. I could not make out the body well. His skin was bluish gray, just like the early morning light surrounding him. So much so that he seemed to sort of melt into it on the edges. But his face was clear, and he was leaning in toward me curiously for a better look. I say he because it was most definitely male. So we know that's some dinky time.
I mean, okay, so we got like dicks out for Catman now?
I guess.
Do you knock on the window and be like, put it away?
I mean, it depends on where you're at.
Put it.
But don't cats have weird like internal like organs?
A cat-human hybrid can have anything it fucking has.
Okay.
You can't, I don't know if cat dicks are external. I don't know. That it just ranks.
I've never seen a cat running around with a dick.
But I'm not looking for cat dicks as a general
kind of
rule.
like snakes. I know there's that cat that snakes don't have dicks hanging out.
Oh,
it's not a thing, dude.
I didn't know what the fuck you were saying.
There's that cat that sprays my window constantly and it has the biggest pair of cat balls I've ever seen.
There you go.
It's comparable to a human's.
Damn.
Just saying, I'm like, man, someone needs to fucking.
Sure it's not a cat, man?
This thing's.
I
It's a whole
Marvin J. Catman.
Yeah, no, this thing is this thing's packing some nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not good.
Going back to our
It's
tale.
fine.
He had a round head with a shank of dark, messy hair that reminded me of a character from an anime cartoon. Anime cat boy.
Cool.
Okay.
With
All
a dick.
Nice.
His large cat-like eyes took up most of his face, a small, not quite human nose, and a mouth. He appeared to be 2.5 to 3 feet tall, petite, beautiful in a weird way. So, I mean, it's working for him, this nudist anime vibe.
I mean, being that tiny.
Well, yeah, what is? I don't even know what's happening right now.
Yeah, this is super questionable.
Hey, you know, this woman's just going with what she's feeling in the moment.
No, I don't know, man.
You never spontaneously lusted? Like you just saw
No.
somebody walk by and you went, oh my God, you know, she's gorgeous or he's gorgeous or whatever the fuck you're at.
2.5 to 3 foot tall naked cat person.
But you haven't seen the right one. That's the key.
You're right. This is on me.
Don't presuppose.
You know, you're right. I'm presupposing.
There you go.
Okay.
You and me.
No.
Big ass.
you.
That's called assume. Yeah. All right. So
Oh, punk rock girl.
petite, beautiful, weird. I do not remember seeing any clothing, but got the impression that he was not completely nude and something was strapped across his body. A bow, maybe? A bow hunting with a
It's
hot
just an
little
elf.
Dude, if
It's
you
just
No,
like
it really
an-
is like a cat elf.
Like an enemy elf.
I'm going to have like a bandolero and like a bowcaster like Chewbacca. And he's like, I'm here for your love.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yes, sure. I wish it went that way.
You told me not to presuppose, not to assume. I'm not.
No,
It's a love story now.
you're diving in now.
Yeah, that's
Man,
it.
both feet.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
She continues, I wish I had reacted differently, but I was shocked and confused by this. After all, until now, it was a completely mundane weekday morning. I made that awful noise. He was startled. Those huge eyes blinked just once. Quickly and almost mechanically, he gave his head a quick shake before he disappeared. So now he's got magic too.
Yeah.
I think I startled him when I reacted, and he was gone. This all happened in the space of about 10 to 15 seconds, and I have never seen him again. But for a moment, we looked directly at each other in shared curiosity.
Weird. Like a what are you kind of moment.
I'm fascinated to think, I mean, because we talk about like dimensional slips or, you know, plenty of times the thinning of the veil,
Right.
where monsters, be it the Mothman, the, you know, headless horror of Grafton, a lot of West Virginia ones, but name it, can slip through. And we and human beings can conversely sometimes slip through into theirs, which may be part of what fairy abduction lore is about. But if a monster comes through, and we discussed this a smidge in the Mothman fucking Uber Chronicles, why wouldn't they be just as perturbed and afraid?
No, they would.
This thing didn't look afraid, though. This thing looked like, what the fuck is this? And now I'm going to, you know, genie myself away, as in the old fucking American sitcom. You know, give it a quick little head nod or do some fucking Bewitched type shits and outie.
So there is a sentence in here I think maybe you missed.
Okay.
It says he appeared solid, real, and he didn't fade away. He turned and darted.
Huh. Okay. Well, fucking cancel everything I just said. That's what I get.
I was waiting because
I was
like you
watching-
missed that. Like maybe
I was watching Chris's face. I'm like, is he gonna do it? And I saw his
Yeah.
lips
All of
start
the
to go. I'm like,
stage.
he's doing it.
Yeah.
He's fucking
Yeah.
doing it. He's gonna put,
just before we get into the
he's-
disappearing things,
you know,
I thought
putting the
that
boots
might
to
be
Bobby.
a thing.
You
I
son
only
of a
wrote
bitch.
this today.
Literally
I can't
hours
be
ago.
expected to remember.
Oh.
Jesus,
No,
this is why I get. We
it's
pause
fine.
and I start oh, of course he disappeared. He vanished with preternatural
Yeah.
fucking magical skills.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the magical naked cat man with
Yeah.
a bow. He's fucking. Oh boy. No,
Yeah.
you know what?
No, he
My-
just booked.
My shame remains. My shame remains.
It doesn't mean he didn't just appear out of
Yeah, no,
wherever
I mean,
and then
because he
booked
ran.
and then disappeared back
Yeah.
or,
into
you
wherever.
know, he's indigenous fucking fauna and he just likes to bow hunt. Yeah, that too. Jesus Christ.
I mean,
Jesus
I don't
Christ.
know.
All right. So, wow. All right. Let me continue to
Information.
read. I know. Quick shake before you use the phrase disappeared, and boy, I jump right off a cliff.
It's okay.
Okay.
Listen, you are.
That's right. We got it before it went too far.
As Chris
yeah,
said,
it's okay.
You know, and you know what?
You're good.
Lesser podcasters might, re-record that and try not to look like a complete dink. Not
Nope,
me.
not us.
You get to see it, warts and all.
Yeah.
This is the truth.
Cryptonaut podcast.
I have too much monster information, and I don't know what to do with it anymore.
Yeah.
Your brain is just overloaded, dude.
There was a time when I could cite every single podcast, not by number, but I knew exactly what each one's about.
I know.
Now I am just shot.
Dude, it's
But that's okay.
You've got monster brain, dog.
As Chris mentioned, and I was going to eventually when I started reading again, completely didn't miss it. Completely missed it.
Okay.
He appeared solid, real, and he didn't fade away. Did not fade away.
Okay.
He turned and darted.
There you go.
Okay. And I did completely skip that. And then they shared a curiosity. I pointed to the window. Now I'm going to get back to reading and not skipping important fucking sections.
Yeah.
Though I can't promise that. I pointed to the window and backed away. I almost fell onto the small couch behind me. My boyfriend asked again and again what was wrong. It took several minutes before I could find the words to say what I had seen. I still can't put a name to it. Him. Next time, I will be less surprised, and maybe, just maybe, we can get a better look at each other. So...
Is this like one of those like missed connection things, like on like Craigslist or something, where she's like, "You're a 2 to 3 foot tall cat man in my window looking in with a bow, possibly clothed,
Possibly not clothed.
Yeah, mostly not.
Possibly a connection." I think she's ready.
It's possible.
She might be really ready for this. Her boyfriend better watch the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
This little tiny cat
Right.
bastard.
he's surprisingly hot.
Yeah.
Just to confirm that I'm an idiot who made this mistake all the way through the writing process, I'm going to continue reading my error to the
Okay.
good folks at home.
Sweet.
It's nearly impossible to zoologically quantify the existence of a nearly hairless, fully nude, almost fully nude, potentially tool-bearing outtake from the Thundercats, who, to top it off, note here the error, had the ability to either teleport or become invisible with the mere shake of its fuzzy head. It didn't do that. It ran away.
Okay,
That's
ran away.
established.
It's fine.
But here we have it. Either the eyewitness was lying, made a monumentally mistaken description of a raccoon, or she saw something that does not quite jibe with reality as most of us recognize it. Perhaps when all is said and done, Solveig caught sight of one of the fae that she so adored. So with the exception of, again, the disappearing act, which I didn't catch in any of my versions of reading this, it's still difficult to quantify what this fucking, as I said, Thundercats outtake can be.
It's
Yeah.
This anime cat
that's what I mean. It's
with a chest strap of some sort.
It's kind of weird that it does have like it has like a hunt, like a bow or whatever he's got on his chest, some sort of like tool or something. It's
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
but it's like doesn't seem like it's like an overt cat. It's got some just cat-ish
Right.
features.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not like
I mean, there's like,
yeah.
obviously, from the Thundercats to Squanchy, or whatever the character's name from Rick and Morty, the partying cat warrior friend that they have,
Yeah.
to, all the different permutations in between, even Tom from Tom and Jerry, like anthropomorphic cats, you still recognize them as cats.
Oh, like the TV series Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, though.
Was
that
he a
fucked
lion,
up.
though?
He was. I think it was based on a lion.
Yeah,
I
he
think
looked
Ron Perlman.
lion-ish.
Yeah,
Okay,
Lionid. Yeah.
A lianoid. Yeah.
Lianoid,
Fuck
yeah.
yeah, dude.
Leonid. But,
Yeah.
But weird. I guess attractive to a lot of people because there was real fans that adored that show, and I'm sure there's fanfic out the wazoo, or maybe
well,
the
sure, the
equivalent
tall,
of it in
long-haired
the 80s.
lianoid, like
yeah,
right,
I mean, if
being
Lives in the
hooked
sewer,
up,
loves you.
rips you apart if you fuck with Brenda, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
yeah. He's always jumping out at
Right.
people and fucking just
That was
growling
Linda
at 'em.
Hamilton, wasn't it?
It sure was.
It was
Holy
Linda Hamilton,
shit.
yeah.
I don't even remember what she did, how they met, or what the relationship was.
They should have tied that in the Terminator. That would have been cool as shit.
It wouldn't have stood a
Like,
chance.
well, John, before I, made you with your father who came back to protect me from the Terminator, I was dating a large lianoid in the sewer. He was my friend.
Maybe he was the real dad.
Oh, he's John's real dad.
Oh, my.
Not fucking whatever his name is. Fucking what the Bryce whatever.
Right, Bryce Danson.
Yeah.
Bryce Danson. Yep, that makes sense.
I can't remember the guy's name. Kyle Reese. Yeah.
Oh,
Kyle
yeah,
Reese,
yeah.
Yep. Or Bryce Danson.
Or Bryce
whichever
Danson.
you prefer.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. All right,
that's
man.
funny.
Well, there it is. Well, she had a little encounter. It was kind of cool and
A little sexual.
a little sexual.
Not
Yeah.
as mystical as I wanted it to be, but still weird.
No harm, no foul.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
Show up, see each other like, oh shit, which is how a lot of things happen.
No,
Sure,
I mean, she didn't get the chance to cheat, but who knows?
Well, I mean, there's that whole misconnection thing, dude. Look on Craigslist. There you go. I saw you in Target. You saw me in Target.
Wow. This could have been completely different had they known.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the right time. It was
Maybe
2014. 14. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Craigslist was a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Do you tend to compare your life to others? Does social media play a part in that? What do you do when you get caught up wishing that your life looked like someone else's? Now, you know what they say. Comparison is the thief of joy, and it's easy to get envious of other people's lives. Now, it might look like they have it all together on their Instagram, but in reality, they probably don't. No one really does, honestly. We're all just drowning in the same algorithm, doom scrolling until our final days, because all you really have to do is throw on a fancy filter, get some clever hashtags, pose yourself just right, and wait for those likes to roll in. Now, therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your best life. Therapy can also be helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It will empower you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. Now, if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/HellerSpace today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/HellerSpace. And now, back to the show.
Now on to a pair of truly surreal encounters presented by our seemingly indefatigable partner in paranormal crime, Mr. Mark Storrs.
You're welcome.
Via the Nexus newsfeed by way of the equally indefatigable Albert Rosales. The first of these two strange cases, which Rosales read as an eyewitness letter in issue 442 of the Fortean Times, occurred on the night of January 1st, 1979, on Finborough Road, located in West London, located in the West London borough of Hammersmith and Fulham. Do we have it?
Nailed it.
We have it, and we're going to apologize right now to everyone that's over there that's listening to this.
Yeah.
We're going to fuck something up, and you're going to be like,
oh, God.
you're gonna be
Just
like,
know.
son of a bitch.
I mean, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, hey. But yes, we fuck up all the time.
Yep,
Even in
so-
the research, even in literally writing the words. I'm not going to dwell on it anymore.
It's okay. We have to let it listen. We have to
Not reading it twice.
We have to release
Yeah.
this, and we have to move on.
Maybe, you know
We're
what?
better people for it.
Maybe I was mesmered by like a kitty fae who didn't want me to read that either while I was writing it or rereading it.
Is that kitty?
It is kind of.
Because it
It's
seems
funny
weird
that
that I fucking
Is that
completely
kitty
missed it.
phase
You missed it when you were
named,
writing and reading it.
Is
Yeah, I
that
know.
kitty phase named Evan Williams by any chance?
I didn't start drinking until I walked in the studio.
All right, man. I don't know. I'm just saying.
No.
Just saying.
No.
Just saying.
Mm.
Maybe
No, I was dead sober.
maybe the old Lumi Labs.
No, I wasn't high either.
Okay.
I was fucking sober.
Okay.
Writing and as Chris said, a little weird. Well, Chris agreed. A little weird
Okay.
that I missed it both times.
It is.
All right. Well,
So, I mean, I want to say it's my mistake.
some
I'm
dark
owning
force is moving your hand.
it, but maybe. Probably not. Moving on.
All right.
On the eve of New Year's Day, Maria Mustaka was having one Neil Oram over for supper, after which the pair retreated to her living room to listen to music and enjoy the view of her back garden through a pair of large French windows. Sounds very nice. All was going to plan when the serenity of the evening was suddenly shattered by the shrieking of Maria's cat. The animal began tearing through the room and up and down the corridor into the bedroom and back in a combination of rage and panic. In fact, the cat seemed so perturbed by what it was sensing that it began to emit an almost dog-like howling sound. That's how it was literally described.
Yeah, my cat makes noises like that when she wants to get fed.
So anger
She's a
sounds.
very vocal cat, and it's awful. Yeah.
Sometimes it's cute.
No,
Maybe not in the case of your cat.
it's not. Where
Lulu
she just
Sparkles isn't adorable?
screams. She screams to go out. She screams to come in. She screams for me to pet her. She screams for food.
Mm.
She screams constantly. She sees me and goes, "Rah!"
Well, that's kind of sweet.
It's not. It's terrifying. It scares me every fucking time. Jesus Christ.
Do you get the chirps and purrs too?
Yeah, no, she does a
All
chirp
right,
and a
so
purr.
that's
Yeah.
cute. There
Yeah.
you go. It's not all bad.
Especially when she brings me a half a squirrel. And I'm like, fuck.
Wow. That's love, and you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get the old dewormer out again.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
Well, time of year.
Yeah.
Startled by the sudden display, Maria tried to catch her feline friend, but as Nexus reported, quote, it just clawed her and ran away, howling like it was being murdered.
Oh, that's not good.
Maria exclaimed that she had never seen her cat behave like this. Then she shrieked and gripped Neil's hand as she spied something that defied her imagination. The account continued stating, a huge cat person alighted on the wall at the end of the garden. Garden is just, watch me be wrong about this, what they call their yard. So backyard, basically.
I feel as though we're going to offend everyone
know.
in Britain.
I'm scared
So I
to
just
drop
don't
a
even
single
know.
British fact anymore.
I don't know what a garden is. I've never seen a garden. I have no. I got nothing.
As a fan of the Autistic Gardener show, I'm pretty sure a garden is just a word for yard.
Okay, fine. I'm there. We'll discuss this with Hebe from the Hebe Jeebies podcast. She'll let us know.
That's fair.
Excellent.
Okay. So it alighted on a wall at the end of the garden. Not a big cat, but a cat person crouching, facing the witness from the top of a 6-foot-high wall, bearing not exactly a human face, not exactly a cat's face.
Just Catman on the wall in the garden?
To his surprise, Neil claimed that although he felt spaced out, he was not afraid. He noted that, quote, it seemed to emanate a powerful, quiet ambiance as it almost floated down into the garden. Maria was shaking and digging her nail into Neil's palm. The cat person, roughly 5 feet tall, started to walk upright toward them, almost glide walked towards them. We've seen that so many
This is
times.
fucking Michael Jackson.
I mean, you can't rule it out.
I mean,
It's
just,
just the Undertaker.
Yeah,
just fucking,
he's just glide
Yeah.
walking, dude. Just with those eyes, those judging eyes. Fucking weird, man.
And as this elemental of utter strangeness approached the large French window, Neil could sense an invisible, steady, intense air pressure building up on the creature's side of the window. Like that cold front's coming. Warm. What like the barometric pressure?
Is it breathing heavy or something? Like
I don't know. I think
like
it's
the pressure of the
it's a paranormal
your
thing.
Atmosphere's changing.
Do you ever feel
Like
right
John-
before a
John
thunderstorm
Edmonds, yeah.
and you feel the pressure change? The
Every
barometric
time
pressure.
the Greys would show up at Stardust, remember John Edmonds felt a change in the pressure, and then he knew the samurai sword had to come out.
I'm
but his
assuming.
undies could stay on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
there you go.
sure.
It's the way.
Using him as evidence. I don't know if it's
Of course, yeah. Dude, he was shooting his AK-47 at a fucking
Yeah.
UFO to try to help his wife from not get abducted. He's my hero.
That's fair.
All right, so we got a storm cat.
We have
Neil
a
thought,
storm, we have a storm cat.
and I do like that phrase.
Yeah, totally.
Neil thought the glass had cracked, but it was Maria's cat howling even more distraughtly. The absolute black furry streak of complete cosmic strangeness raised its palms, not paws, and that's not me using alliteration. That's the eyewitness. God
That's
bless her.
weird.
So they could see them pressed against the glass. Neil thinks Maria passed out at this point, but only for a few seconds because he pulled her awake and hissed, "Just watch." It seemed to Neil that this jet black visitor was not familiar with windows. It kept its hands on the glass for 20 seconds. The demented cat, still howling, then turned around and walked back up the wall. So, are we getting this? Is the
back
first
to
time?
the wall.
Yeah, back to the wall in the backyard. But now
So-
I'm thinking, was this thing howling along with Maria's pet cat? Because I didn't get that impression earlier, but
No.
now I
It
don't
says the
trust
demented
me.
cat still
Anyway.
howling. Yeah, maybe. Huh. Kind of like it was like how like that's what
You know
got
what? No,
hurt.
you know what? I think I broke it down wrong. I'm being overly
No.
in my own head. I think it's paw hands, mostly hands, pressed against the glass for 20 seconds. The demented cat being the pet cat,
Oh, that was still
howling.
gotcha. Then
And then they
Then,
didn't
okay, that
specify
makes
this thing.
sense.
Then
Yeah.
this thing turned around and glided
And it doesn't
walked
understand
back to the
windows.
wall.
Yeah, that makes sense.
it doesn't get windows, which is interesting. So
I mean, who
like
knows?
literally like trying to touch like why the fuck can I get through this?
If you're from a nature world, you're not used to transparent hard things.
No, it's true you're not.
So that makes sense, I guess.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
and seemed to almost float back up to a crowding position atop the wall. So forward moonwalks back to the wall, I guess, and then just sort of float jumps.
And he's just crouching.
And
just
now he's crouching. It's weird.
Yeah,
if it was done in reverse, it would be a genuine moonwalk.
it was,
No, yeah,
It's
right.
weird.
This thing does a moonwalk to a crouch on a friggin' wall. Like, all right.
It turned around and looked in their direction, then seemed to be scanning all the way around, turned its back to them, and disappeared beyond the wall. I'm assuming at this point it jumped down.
It just jumped down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just fucking took off, dude.
Didn't vanish. The moment the feline freak disappeared, a strange, unnerving silence seemed to permeate the living room. At that exact moment, Maria's cat immediately ceased its chaotic cacophony of mewling and climbed onto Maria's lap, trembling. Though the account ends there, one can't help but to wonder what the gravity-defiant cat-like creature may have been. Though it clearly elicited a violent and terrified reaction in the domestic feline that had already claimed the territory, the thing itself did not seem to be violent. And how are we to interpret, this is the most interesting thing to me, Neil's insistence that Maria wake up and watch? Was he somehow caught in the thrall of this enigmatic entity? It's hard to know. So it seems weird. I don't know if they're dating. I'm assuming they're dating, but there's no reason to assume that. Friends can have dinner. And her friend passes out, and instead of just waking up like, "Are you okay?" Waking up's like, hisses, "You have to watch," or whatever. What he said.
I mean, I'm assuming because this is just such a fantastical sight. He's just like, get up, check this out, check this out.
That could be.
Just like in the heat of the moment, like when cat person's hanging out in the backyard, you're gonna be like, dude.
And you don't want, and if it does something else amazing, you don't want her to say like, "Oh, I saw a weird cat thing. Maybe, I don't know, I passed out." And then he's like, "No, a UFO came and there was elves breakdancing," or whatever weird shit could have happened that did not happen.
Yeah.
That I need another witness to be awake for this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just something that's so crazy. Even if she's passing out from fear, you're like, wake the fuck up. We need to both see this.
Or was it like?
Then you have two, corroborating witnesses.
True.
And a really scared cat. This cat is freaking the fuck out. It's kind of interesting, though, that the cat reacts to this giant cat, man. Like, before he even appears, the cat is just like, oh, God, like freaking out in that exact voice. Just fucking going nuts.
If cats see other cats in their yard through a window, they freak out.
Yeah, no, they do. That's another one of Sparkles.
Dogs do that too, though. But
my dog does it constantly. He just barks at everything. But Sparkles, especially when the orange cat with the large balls shows up, she goes after him something fierce.
Right.
Constantly. And then there's a cat fight outside, and it's a whole back and forth, and it's just like, and it's a Wednesday. We're just trying to go to bed at 9 o'clock.
Sounds of summer.
And we can't because the cats are fighting and being assholes.
Oh, I thought Lulu Sparkle was an indoor cat.
No.
Not anymore?
She was going back outside.
Back in Dangerland.
She had to. She's getting depressed inside, man. She was a wildcat. I mean, I can't take her away from her wild ways.
It's hard to do that late in life.
Yeah, no, dude, she's old. Her hips are still good though. She's hanging out.
Her hips don't lie.
She's just
dumb.
Yeah, she's a handful.
Well,
yeah. Her new thing is she likes to hang out on the pool.
Really?
Yeah, she just hangs out. She bats the water. Her tail touches it. She looks back like, "Who are you?"
Wow.
And she bats the water again.
Sassy water.
My wife thinks it's cute. I think it's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Get the fuck off the pool. You're going to shred my liner when you fall in.
There it is.
This is my
Maybe.
life.
Yeah.
This is what I do.
Probably not, though. And you're not a huge fan of cats.
I like her because she's cool, but I'm not like a huge cat guy.
Yeah.
No, they're fine. I don't hate cats.
Sure.
By any means. They're adorable.
Of course.
But I just, do my own thing, man. I'm a dog guy, Robert. I'm a dog man.
And what without saying?
Oh, Mark, a dog man.
Yep.
All right, let's finish this fucker up.
Our final and frankly wackiest case comes to us from the same three sources credited above, save for the fact that it didn't come from the Fortean Times. The account is credited to a woman named Goldelieve van Overmeyer, who, from my limited Google search, may be a student at the University Faculty of Agricultural Sciences in Gimbleu. I think I said that perfectly.
Yeah, Gimbleu.
Or a sweetly smiling older woman with one subscriber on YouTube, or neither of the above. I don't know.
Right.
Fair.
Regardless, the initial incident occurred on an evening in February of 2002 in a forest near Quebec, Canada, where a man referred to only as RR was exploring when he was abruptly struck by a sensation of nauseousness that caused him to stumble into a crevice that he later surmised may have been a hunter's animal trap. The question being, who was doing the hunting, and what kind of animal had it been intended for? Whatever the answer may be, when R.R. awoke, he saw what he described as, quote, two friendly female faces smiling at him, end quote. Though distinctly feminine, the man was sure that these individuals were not completely human. At some point, though the account is a bit vague and on the order of occurrences, R.R. managed to extract himself from the hole and make it home. The Nexus report continued, stating, some days later, two female entities entered his house. They were black in color and had cat-like ears and a bit of light-colored hair on their faces. They wore loose trousers because they had large black cat-like tails.
We got cats in pants, Chris.
We sure do.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Cats in pants.
Cats in pants, dog.
At other times, they wore large coats in order to hide their tails. Yes.
Got cats and coats, dude.
Cats and coats.
Fuck yeah, man.
The entities seemed to come out of the forest when they came to visit the witness.
You just imagine every time you're like, oh no, they got their pants and they're fucking. I mean, you can't hide.
No, well,
You can't.
You got a big old badonkadonk.
Yeah, I mean, you just got a big ass tail hanging out and a pair of pants.
Not if they're
you're
loose.
clearly a cat person.
If you're wearing a big old pair of jogging pants and you're like wrapping it around one leg, you're good.
I don't know, man. You're
You
sticking
get away
out.
with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Depending how thick the tail is.
Okay.
True.
I mean, you might need parachute pants at some point, but otherwise, you probably get away with like some jogging slacks,
Okay. Well,
as I call them.
Slacks.
This is
Jogging
very
slacks.
brave of them to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. But they did it.
Okay.
So good for
Well,
them.
There you go.
Evidently, the closer R.R. got to the Catwomen, the more his feline friends opened up to him, revealing a startling fact about their ancestry. Quote, they talked about their planet of origin.
Oh, we got
Space cats.
Space cats, dude. Oh, fuck yes, dude.
In another solar system. So not intergalactic, but inter-solar system, I guess. They talked about cosmology, physics, etc. They were friendly with the witness and disappeared after a couple of hours, end quote. Unsure whether he would ever again encounter his cosmic cat buddies, nearly 2 weeks after their first meeting, R.R. was shopping in a local supermarket when, to his shock, he spied the women who had presumably rescued him from the hole. Again, it's not clear how he got out of the fucking hole, but who knows. Quote, the witness observed the same two women stealing apples. He approached them and promptly told them to put the apples on his cart so he could pay for them. The entities' faces appeared to be mimicking normal black earth women, end quote.
So they don't maybe understand that, like, if you're from a different, like solar, like whatever, there's food you got to pay for. I totally get it. So they're like not understanding like the culture in the ways of like it's tops. You got to weigh your apples and
Right.
Yeah. So.
No, I'm not assuming they're kleptomaniacs.
No. But I'm just assuming that, like, however they're here from whatever planet they're visiting, they probably just don't.
They
get
might
the
not have
whole,
the same kind of economy and
and
whatever.
they don't understand the whole thing, which is crazy. Like you meet like cat people, from outer space, and then like this seems like a movie, like Jim Carrey, and then all of a sudden they're like at a grocery store, and you're like, no, Jesus, you're gonna get busted. What are you doing?
You're gonna start having flashbacks to fucking Earth Girls Are Easy.
Yeah,
if you're not
yes,
careful.
dude. Yeah, you've got like got like your trench coat and like your pants, and you're like, oh my God, Jesus, let me buy you these apples quick. Why would cats eat apples?
Well, that's the other
regardless.
thing.
Okay,
No,
regardless.
cats are
they
eat dry food, so I guess they do eat a certain amount of, I guess, probably vegetable plant matter, be it fruit or vegetable. But I
these
think
are
in the wild
aliens,
they are strictly carnivores.
But these
I'm
are
pretty
aliens,
sure.
though.
But again, as is aforementioned 17 times in this pod, we don't know shit.
No,
I think they're carnivores.
and these are aliens.
But
so
cat
who
people,
knows?
aliens. So again, they could just be aliens that superficially
Cat people.
resemble cats from Earth, but have nothing to do biologically with the cats of Earth.
Yeah, it's true.
Because unless cats came from another solar system, the way we allegedly came from a planet with like cows and giraffes, according to the professor in one of the pods we did.
yes.
Like
yes,
the Cosmic Odyssey of Maris or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
I might be writing giraffes into the story. I often do.
Okay, it's fine.
But they said, I think at least
fine.
cows and people came from a planet together
Yes,
Okay.
and were planted on the Earth.
I believe it.
So maybe
Wow.
cats came from like cat world.
All right, man, dude, fucking cat.
Who
world.
knows?
Here you go.
Yeah.
Well, he met his friends. He's helping them get out of this situation
But they
and
can-
not get in trouble.
I guess, hide their natural form to the degree where they can pass as human beings.
Right. So they have some sort of like cloaking device or whatever.
Or they
to,
can
like,
physically change their appearance.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
I mean, it's hard knowing.
Kind of neat.
Yeah, it's kind of vague. It doesn't.
Right.
I just assumed they weren't, and they were just look like cosplayers.
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
picking
Right.
apples.
Yeah. Exactly.
'Cause
Yeah.
it doesn't really.
Well, I mean,
Because if they weren't, then like they'd be noticed. You'd think.
of course.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, totally.
Now, how does he notice
The
them?
first thing you see are basically like fucking, rogue members of the cast of Cats. At least that's how I perceived the cat women that came to his house and either extracted him from the hole or were smiling at him in the hole or whatever.
Right.
That's how I see them,
Same,
for better
yeah.
or worse. When they're in the store, they don't look like that. Again, speaking to both your points, would it be easier to change the way people perceive things through, I don't know, an electromagnetic field or something? I don't know. Again, I'm pulling things out of my ass. Or easier to physically transmorgify? I guess depending on your biology.
I mean,
it is
whatever
what it
they
is.
did to change, he noticed them.
But their faces probably looked very similar because they looked very human-esque with cat-like attributes.
Oh, God.
So I think he just recognized their features. Just they didn't have the white fur and
Right. Oh,
yeah, maybe
pointy
I don't know.
ears, or they're
They're
wearing
hats
hoodies
or something. Yeah,
or hats. Exactly.
Okay, cool.
And not. Yeah, it's not really.
It's not really
Specific.
covered. Yeah,
You hang out with a couple of cat chicks. Kind of fun.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what happens.
It's a good party.
Grateful for his assistance, the friendship forged between this earthling and these unique visitors began to deepen. Quote, the entities visited the witness almost every night. Interestingly, as he tried to set up a recording device to record the stranger's conversation, every time he installed the recorder, the women, without a word, pointed to the recorder saying no with their head and disappeared without a sound. So I guess they're obvious enough to, the dangers of being exposed on Earth to be like, not going to make a sound. You're not gonna
Even though they've just befriended this random dude.
But that doesn't mean they want to be recorded.
True.
I mean, that's fair.
No,
you
I
can be
get
friends
it.
with somebody and trust them and be grateful for their help and not want your photo taken for various reasons.
Right. No, I get it.
Like you're
I
on
get
the
it.
lam, they're fucking
Well, yeah.
inner solar system criminals, or
Right.
you just know it's dangerous to be not human on Earth.
They're info dumping a bunch of shit on him though, so like you'd assume that maybe they would just be okay with it.
You'd think.
But I get it. Hey, if they don't want to do it, fucking respect. There you go.
That's true. He says his wife also saw the entities. Toward the end of the year, the witness was invited to a party and he saw the two strange female entities there. They caressed his face with the end of their tails. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I guess it's like a nice hi, or is it like a hi?
Yeah. All right.
Like howdy.
Well,
I mean, I'm no one to talk, but hey, do
I
it.
mean, maybe that's just in their culture how they say hello.
That's true. There might be nothing sexual about it at all.
Listen to me. Apples are free, and when you meet someone that you like, you rub your tail on their face.
You're right. It could all be platonic,
big
and
misunderstanding.
Sweet. Barbara Billingsley, happy.
All right, fine, fair.
But it might be dirty as shit.
It
too.
could be fucking real dirty
Real
shit.
filthy.
Where at the party did this happen?
Yeah, like did they
Where the fuck
break
was his
into
wife?
Did they
Party,
break into the
dude.
bathroom?
Like,
or
it's
is it so hectic?
whores divorce
Yeah.
and just fucking like tails.
Tits.
But I'm like,
The
wait
two
a minute.
tails just like, hey, buddy, just hitting him in the back.
Again,
of the neck.
it doesn't. It has to be somewhere where they look like they did
Semi-private.
in the supermarket,
Right.
Not or. I don't know, just outside somewhere.
Or
I don't
you
know.
steal to a
He's on a
room,
smoke break and they
the
show
shitter
up
outside.
They sitting up with their tails.
Smoke break. Oh, that's
Anyway.
funny. Holy shit.
just
No,
weird.
because it'd be
is
unless it
just
was
weird.
like a strobe light flashing, house party where fucking people were dancing and it was crazy and it was all like Jacob's Ladder where it ends up
Oh
like
yeah, God.
Tim Robbins' girlfriend's dancing with like a
A
tiger
weird-
alien
a-
tail
yeah.
between her legs.
Oh God, yeah, it's awful.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Oh Jesus, you made me remember that whole scene. It was
So sorry.
terrible.
That movie was glum.
Fucking
Yeah, it's
bummer,
it's-
man.
Yeah, skeevy. I mean, it had some moments, but all
back,
right.
back to the cat.
Back.
Back to the two cat women.
His wife saw him. They're maybe hitting on him, maybe just saying hi in a perfectly natural way
Okay.
with their tails on his face. Apparently, the witness was interested in the Umo affair and questioned them about it. He received no response. So just for the record, I'm not going to get deep into it because who knows, we might actually deal with this someday. The Umo incident began in 1965 with a series of letters and phone calls are the key here, to various Spanish UFO researchers that purportedly came from an extraterrestrial race. It's a case definitely worth looking into, and there are lots of books. You can find them on Amazon, at least a few books on Amazon and other places if you're intrigued by it. But no, it was a big... especially in the 60s and 70s UFO case.
Really? No shit.
And it's intriguing that, all right, I guess it makes sense. I mean, if I met an alien and became friends with them over the course of a year and was, buying them apples and we're hanging out, I'd probably ask, like, do you know if Roswell happened? Like, at some point, your conversation has got to turn over
dude, it would be
the profound physics and the cosmology of our origins and all that to, like, just some crazy shit.
It'd be Mothman all day. Like, do you know the Mothman?
Did it happen?
Cat people, do you know the Mothman?
Do aliens get enthralled by mysteries the way we do? Because we're always assuming they're like godlike in their intelligence and they know what's real and what isn't real. And they certainly come off cocksure that they know what's going on all the time, though that might be just part of the image.
Well, yeah.
And certainly some are more advanced than others. But I would love to think that there are just some out there that are just slightly more advanced than us and have like cracked fucking space travel or interdimensional passage. And they're just like, no, shit, we got crazy furry fucking things. They look like llamas on Earth, but we don't know what the fuck they are. No one knows what they are. And some people believe in them and the rest of us don't. Llamas with big fucking lobster tails and fucking 4 eyes.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah. Yeah, sure. You got mysteries too. I love that idea.
The most delicious llama.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
A lobster tail that big.
Dang.
So much butter.
I didn't even think about that. See, that's why we can't be trusting on other planets. We will
kill it and
them
eat it,
into fucking oblivion.
Exactly.
If we find something delicious on another planet, it's going to go extinct. I
Yeah.
mean, we killed the
Or we're
goddamn
gonna get
thylacine for no good reason at all, except a government stipend.
Or we're going to get poisoned. We're going to eat it, and it's going to be like bad llama lobster tail meat. And we're going to die.
It might be like a ill-prepared blowfish. Maybe you just got to cook it right.
Oh, there you go. All right, well.
And baste it in like llama butter. Don't know what that is.
No.
Yeah, I don't want
Probably
llama
terrible.
butter.
About llama butter.
Okay.
Okay. It's crazy.
In February 2003, the entities returned one last time to say goodbye to RR, after which he watched as they entered a nearby wood, never to be seen again. But before leaving, they told the witness that he must tell others about his encounters. To what end is anyone's guess. So, I mean,
All right.
I don't understand why that
Because they
happens.
didn't want to be recorded,
Yeah.
but they like spread the message.
Right.
Even though there's not really, how much of a message is there?
There's no message.
We're cool cat chicks from space.
Yeah,
You know?
we don't, we don't have food money, but we're going to be really cool to you if you buy us like some dirt cheap apples. And I mean, I don't know what else. I don't know if they like exchanged food, if they drank together, if they became good buddies, occasional talking partners. Like it's
Maybe
so,
they're, or
vague.
if they're just on this earth for like a little vacay, they're just kind of hanging out.
A year long.
The year long, checking it out, man.
It could be like a study sabbatical. Any number of scientists would
be
do
just
that.
checking it out, just being like a cool intergalactic cat chick travelers that are just hanging out, being cool,
Right.
doing cool stuff.
I mean, if you hear like Earth people are kind of fun when they're, I mean, some people like to vacation dangerously,
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I remember
for them.
I went to Johannesburg when it was the murder capital of the world.
Yeah,
and had a
not-
great time.
I know, but still not,
So some people
not
like
good.
thrilling vacations.
Okay.
And
Well,
Earth is a very thrilling vacation,
And I mean,
especially if you're an alien.
it's not uncommon for aliens to come down and study us. These two were just more involved,
Right.
and good for them.
Sure. Okay. We'll wrap it up. We'll break it down.
There you go.
These are but a handful of the most curious encounters that folks have reported of their alleged interactions with cat people, or werecats as the case may be. As to where these sometime furry friends or foes come from, we can only guess. Maybe they are truly an interplanetary race, or maybe that was just a ruse to throw off the rest of the humans to which RR was obliged to report his experience. What better way to have a notoriously invasive and often well-armed species steer clear of your woodsy domain than to have them look to the stars instead of the forest? So that's another thing I entertained. Could be just they could just be living in the forests of wherever. Was it Quebec? I'm even
This
losing
one
track.
was Canada.
Yeah.
And like fuck that. Tell them we're from space because we don't want people looking
Yeah,
for
I
us.
guess.
Tell everybody about us. We're from space. Tell everybody.
Yeah, that is
As far as we know, we never saw a UFO or any fucking hint besides that they're cat
No,
people.
yeah.
That there's anything weird about them. They could be fucking totally indigenous, and they're
That's
like,
funny.
just tell them we're from fucking space. Tell everybody.
He'll believe we're from space. Just take your tail, kind of like caress his head.
Yeah.
His wife will get pissed. Don't worry.
Oh, he's gonna smell a cat. He had to reek. Did they spray him?
Oh, that's a stank. That's a
Ooh.
deep stank.
Yeah, I don't know.
hate that fucking smell.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cats and heat. That's a beautiful sound. Kids could fall asleep to. It's like a soothing lullaby.
Yeah,
It's a fucking nightmare.
Oh, yeah, I'm
a
screaming.
nonstop nightmare.
goddamn cat that sprays my windows. Oh, son of a bitch. Anyway, all right.
But for me, it doesn't seem quite that simple. In fact, of the few accounts we've dealt with today, it seems like we're dealing with multiple types of entities, some of which may be transformative, like so-called flesh pedestrians, and I've just come across this term. That is the safe way of referring to skinwalker if you are afraid that by saying that phrase you will attract the evil to you.
Okay.
Because obviously in the lore of the indigenous peoples, especially that like the Ute tribe and others that deal with it more, prolifically than we do, saying it incurs its attention, which might make it like come towards you. So apparently it's been interplayed with the phrase flesh pedestrian, so you can get away with talking about them without talking about them.
Yeah, okay.
So I
mean,
had to throw that out there because I
think
just
Chris is
stumbled
gonna
across
start
it.
saying it 3 times in the mirror.
So again, or werecats, more standard creatures. Others that may be permanently bound to the physique that they are born with. So by that I mean, I know I stopped. Like some could be changing things, like werecats, skinwalkers.
Classic.
Others are
turning
just
into a cat man.
what they are.
The thing.
Michael
Yeah.
Jackson, totally.
But like earthbound versions of the species, ranging from the majestic lion to the scruffiest of alley cats, perhaps these potentially paranormal predators, wherever they may be from, are every bit as deceptive, enchanting, and inscrutable as the creatures that human beings know and, for the most part, love. So, cats are confusing, crazy critters, and I love them. Chris loves them. You like them.
Yeah, fine.
And so maybe cosmic cats are just as nuts.
Well, I mean, there it is, man. We did it. We crushed it. The wild, weird world of werecats. So the interesting part about this is the last account, 100%. Either they're from space or they're like, we're living in the woods. We're going to confuse the shit out of this guy.
Yes.
Get that. The other ones that we dealt with, I don't know, man.
Let's start with the beginning. Shadow cats in the hall.
Yeah, Shadow Cats in the hall gripping you is kind of odd because he goes in a whole demon thing, which I think is completely unnecessary. But that definitely seems like
It
they're
was the
there
context,
too.
his cultural context. It
Right,
makes sense.
Right. No,
Yeah, no, 100% makes sense.
I get that. But then the conversely with the story after that, just appearing to the woman like in the window, like the beautiful little cat man.
Yeah, man, I don't even know. Like none of these feel like, other than the one that jumped on the wall,
Right.
could be a cryptid.
Yeah, but even that can't be a cryptid because it's fucking moonwalking everywhere and floating rather than leaping as if. I mean, if it's a cryptid, it's found a way to defy
If it
natural
can jump
gravity.
like a cat, then it's smooth like a cat.
Maybe.
I guess. I mean, to me, it's the only one that could come close. Other ones are
To
just
being a
appearing
cryptid.
in the dark.
Yeah.
Have half. The one she sees out the window, just to me, I picture this looks like an elf.
Yeah.
In some like an anime,
With some
because they are very
weird-
cattish. They got the eyes,
But it's got like a
Right.
crazy like mane, the way she was describing, like I don't know what she called it, like a shock of hair or whatever she called
Yeah.
it.
He was moving it around in a sexy manner.
Giant eyes.
Yeah. Huh.
But it was definitely described as having some feline characteristics.
yeah, they all kind of,
But definitely elven. I agree with what you're saying.
Right.
Like of all of the ones we dealt with, the case in England where it is on the gate or on the fence, the wall in the backyard, not understanding windows, then retreating. That's the closest to a cryptid. I still think that there are some key things like it gliding and floating that kind of takes it off the table as a traditional terrestrial,
I mean, that could very
fauna.
well be some sort of alien, kind of like the last, kind of that we dealt with here, where they're like alien cat people. Which have we ever dealt with alien cat people?
I don't know.
I don't think we have. The closest we ever come to is Dump Cat, the Wakamiko Cat Man, and that was just some weird
crazy, seemingly pure cryptid.
Funky rat cryptid,
yeah,
like,
that was just in a dump, literally fucking around with kids that are trying to like drink beer in a semi-secluded place.
Yeah,
and they got away with their lives. And and in that case, we speculate everything from like I think errant Nazi experimentations, like the classic,
of course,
the classic tropes of government experiment gone awry, demon.
I guess any
male evolution due to pollutants.
Any of that could be totally
and
put
most
on any of these.
The Catman encounters that are out there are of that ilk. It jumped out in the front of the road. It stood up on its hind legs.
Yeah.
It was 8 to 9 feet tall, as was mentioned earlier.
Yep.
It scared the shit out of me, or it went to my window and it hissed and it scared the shit out of me. Most of these accounts you could be interchanging them with dogmen or Bigfoot accounts. Totally. Most of them really do seem to be cryptids, except for the fact, as we mentioned here earlier, nothing in the fossil record indicates anything like that could have existed.
No, man.
And the fact that they just sort of show up out of the blue means that, and they're never seen or captured, means they really can't be part of the local fauna anywhere.
No, but then again, if they are some weird, secretive fucking group of cat people that live alongside us that we'd have no clue about. I mean, I don't know where they would live in the subways of New York. Seems like a possible spot.
Dude,
I'm really thinking more of like Ninja Turtles, I think.
You're cross-polluting
I went Ninja Turtles.
I mean, you're getting close to your current fixation. It always was interdimensional, but lately you've been...
the whole underground
You've
thing?
been loving your underground.
Are cats big burrowers into the ground, though?
Of course not.
Like, or kind of like gargoyle, like a cave system, perhaps, somewhere that they can, traverse through. It just
wildcats definitely use caves to live, to get out of inclement weather, to drag their prey, to make nests, to rear their young. They definitely are cave dwellers.
True.
They don't dig the fucking caves, but would they occupy them and use them as a place to retreat? Sure.
Yeah.
If this isn't like interdimensional, though, I guess everything's off the table. If it is interdimensional, because these could be all different beings, well, except for the last one, because they're like, we're from space or not. All different beings from all different types of, different.
The thing also that separates the werecats and cat people we were discussing today from more traditional Bigfoot and dogmen is that even though a lot of people say Bigfoot are intelligent and they, harbor shamanistic, paranatural skills of, teleportation and telekinesis and all sorts of shit, there are other people of the like more Jeff Meldrum academic school that are like, they could be, smart like primates are, but just basically advanced animals that have learned to live in seclusion for a long period of time. Dogmen, though I'm sure there's an exception to it, and somebody could point it out to me easily, like where it talks to somebody or does whatever. I guarantee you there's cases like that. But by and large, they are just vicious carnivores that are out there chasing you down, digging you up, and tearing you limb from limb when they catch you. Which cat people, in this context and in a lot of other contexts, not all, some are just animals, it seems, but especially what we're dealing with here, all of them are intelligent. So none of them are just animals.
No, they are.
I mean, we are all just animals, so yes, but they are intelligent animals.
But the last ones, though, are definitely straight up they're like, we're from space. So
sure.
I don't know if we can count them because they're just like, they're clearly intelligent because they're traversing the stars.
The tool-bearing nudist
could be
clearly,
that's true.
Well, doesn't have the ability to teleport, much to my chagrin, is fucking smart enough to wear some shit.
Might have a bow. Or
might have
a bow, yeah.
But you're right, that could be an animal. The floating cat dude in England, I guess there's no way to know because he doesn't know what glass is, but that doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means you're not familiar with glass.
Yeah, I mean, that might not be a thing in his world.
Yeah, fair enough. But by and large, they seem to be at least as smart as humans in this case.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, there it is, man. The wild, weird world of werecats. And I'm sure we're going to have more of these coming up because these in the two encounters that I found, there was a couple other ones I was tracking down too, but it's one of those things where like it's such a there's such little bits of information that's not even, you're just like,
they were hella sparse.
Yeah, there's a bunch of hella sparse ones where you're just like, okay, man, so did you see a cat or did you not see a cat? Like what was it? But maybe
I'm proud of you though, man. You fucking dug this shit out and you flew it out to me and I'm like, oh
yeah, dude,
yes.
Cats, dude, cat, intergalactic cats and pants, man.
Are we doing cats next week? Yeah. We are.
Yeah, we're doing cats.
Are we doing cats, dude? I'm like, yeah, dude,
cats,
we are.
Doing it.
We're doing fucking cats. You call me up today. Hey, man, Is it cats?
Is
and
it
I'm like,
cats?
fucking yeah, it's
bro,
cats.
bro, is it intergalactic cats?
We're doing
bro?
cats. We're doing,
Bro.
and I find it fascinating, and I do think. I mean, why not? In the future, I think you can. I mean, there's literally the guy, I think he calls himself the Cat Man. I don't know anything about him. I saw his picture plenty of times while I was studying this, but he surgically had his face altered to look more like a tiger, and he's got facial tattoos.
Yeah, there was a woman that did this too.
And it I mean, hey, more power to him if that's his bag. It's really weird. It doesn't have the glorious majesty of a tiger, in my opinion.
right.
But hey, that's his face, and it's what he
You're
loves.
just freaking out
rock.
people in Walmart, man. That's all you're doing.
Badly.
Yeah.
So I think someday you will be able to designer, CRISPR or whatever the fuck the super tech. It might even be called, ironically, in the future, it might even be called CRISPR as a joke, even though it'll be like a billion times more advanced. Like hopefully you can change back, but like if you want to for a weekend or permanently, become Tiger Rob, Dolphin Chris, Capybara Mark.
Oh, Capybara Mark.
We can
swimming
do it.
around
That's
like
true.
a little happy capybara swimming.
Absolutely.
I would be
If I'm a dolphin, then we're just swimming together.
Oh, dude, then we're getting away from Rob because he's a lion. He's going to eat us.
No, I'm your friend. I can
No,
control
you're
my
gonna eat
instincts.
us.
Did you not
You
see?
say that until I come close to you, and Chris comes to the shore, and then we're both eviscerated and eaten.
What's that fucking that animated film, like Zootopia or something, where it taught us the predators can live with the prey in a civilized society.
Zootopia. I don't know if
I don't know if it's called that. I don't know. It's
May
about
have.
A bunny,
yeah.
A bunny was a cop.
Yeah,
and
she
had
was
a
cool
friend.
too, man.
Yeah,
That was a great
Hops,
movie.
Something
the cool
Hops.
fox.
It was really cute.
The cool fox.
Okay.
So I'm just
police
saying,
dude. Okay.
if first off, we learn all the truths from movies. Secondly, movies, if they never lie, as we know they don't, it shows that the future of hybrid animal humans, whether they're predator or prey species, is going to be a glorious, peaceful future
100%.
with a lot of like implied, dark tones beneath, with bigotry and
Well,
whatnot.
yeah.
But yeah, I think someday that it's going to be, if not commonplace, something you can do. If you choose to fucking do it.
I mean,
maybe.
Which means that some of these motherfuckers might be time travelers.
Oh shit!
Or they, or how time slips, you accidentally end up in 1846 or 1963 downtown.
They
You're
ended up in
this looks like an old picture of my downtown. They
Nice.
slipped into fucking 2014, and they're wearing their like anti-grav boots, so they're cool.
Okay,
And they just
fair.
like moonwalk back up, and they're like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And then they portal back to their fucking home, not knowing what happened to them at all.
Okay,
And because it's the future, and I don't. AI runs everything. You don't even need glass anymore. It's just the rain doesn't hit you because you programmed your house to do it. But if you want to reach outside, you can do so. That's why the cat man from the future doesn't understand what glass is.
You tied that together beautifully,
Or
with
not.
with a bow. No, we're not going to say we're not. We're going to leave it there.
No, it's
We're
not
gonna leave it there.
cosplayers.
I mean, I'm sure there are some people out there like, oh, that would be hot as shit. And depending on like how hot that little dude is, I mean, I'm sure you can have some cross-species beauty.
Hey, whatever, man. I mean, just,
Speaking as a potential werewolf, I'm not going to rule it out.
All right, and again, there it is, the wild, weird world of Werecats. Thank you all so very much for joining us. Cryptonaut Podcast. Robert, we got some Patreon shout-outs to do for the good folks that support us over there at patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast, good friend.
Oh, my.
Here we go.
I'm working with a new machine, and I have to find it. To begin with, we are dealing with and saying thank you to Ozai,
Thank you, Ozai.
Cameron McClendon,
Thank you, Cameron.
Nice.
We appreciate it.
Dave Baxter,
Dave, what up?
Dave.
Thank you so much.
Philip Dickinson,
Hell yeah, Philip.
Courtney Arcio,
Thank you, Courtney.
Stony Soprano,
They're back. Stony Soprano. What's up? Long
yeah.
time listener and supporter. Appreciate it.
Bodog,
Bodog. Hell yeah, dude.
James Greening,
Thank you, James.
Aaron Cuthbert Scott.
Aaron Cuthbert Scott.
Is
Thank
it
you.
Cuthbert. Yeah, I never know to pronounce the H in that or not.
I think you do.
All right.
I'm gonna say you do.
Cuthbert. Aaron Cuthbert
Aaron?
Scott.
And in quotes, Cuthbert Scott.
I did the in quotes
Thank you.
because of how I separate the names.
Oh, I thought she did it, and I'm like,
No,
I don't know
that's
what the
just
fuck
me.
that means.
That's just me doing it.
Okay.
Thank you, Aaron. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You could have like put the whole name in quotes and not thrown me off. Dill.
Well,
Still would have pronounced it without an H, so that wouldn't have had any effect.
Yeah.
exactly.
You're right.
Exactly.
Last, most certainly not least, Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
And again, thank you to everyone that supports us monthly on Patreon, patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast. Links will be for everything in the description of this podcast, the Insta, the Twitters, and the Facebooks, and the merch, and all that. But we have something kind of cool on Patreon now. If you're kind of like, I want to check the content out, but I'm not sure about the commitment, we got a 7-day free trial.
A free trial.
Free trial.
Hot
So you
diggity.
can check that out, which is super dope. So it's going to require that you put your credit card information in.
As with everything.
As with
Sure.
everything,
Yep.
but you jump on, you put your card information, you get your 7 days, and if you don't like it, you cancel before the 7 days are up, and then there you go. So
Yep.
you get a sample of everything. Now you can do this in the $5 and the $10
Right.
tier. So if you do the $10 tier, you can look at all the content, check everything out, see if it's for you, and if you like it, stick around. And if not, then it's no harm, no foul. We get to check it out, see if you like it.
Makes
and
perfect sense.
Make an informed decision. You get to vote with your dollars if you want to support us on
Wow.
Patreon.
That's
Yes,
terrific.
and we appreciate that there. As mentioned, the merch, we got some hats kicking over there at the old hellerspace.com. The TeePublic got a bunch of new merch coming up there. Check that out. As we mentioned, the Instas and the Twitters and the Facebook. The listeners, when we mess stuff up, let us know. So reach out to us on those DMs and let us know what we get wrong. And keep those coming. It's awesome to hang out and talk with like all of our listeners out there. It's super cool.
Absolutely.
And
Though it's a never-ending chore correcting us.
They always send super cool stuff. They have super cool stuff. They
Absolutely.
send. Even the corrections are super cool.
Oh,
So
agreed.
I like
I love
So-
it too.
So yeah, man, there it is. Thank you all so very much, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Oh, hell yeah.
Goodbye,
Peace out.
cat. Goodbye, cat people.
It's a kitty cat world.
Yeah.
Love it.
Be
You
a
know
little
what it
more-
is?
Be a little more specific.
The kitty's titties.
Oh yeah, this is like perfect for that.
Yeah. Can't believe I
Nice.
didn't use it in context.
No, we didn't. It's okay though. Or as Chris used to say, it's the cat's dick.
Yeah.
Cat's
That's all.
taint.
Oh, the cat's taint.
And dick.
Whoa.
And
Was it-
balls.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ.
Oh God, what else? Everything's been covered. The
Yeah.
cat's toes.
Wow.
The cat's little toeses.
They-
little
Kitty toes are cute
yeah, kitty toes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little pauses.
till the daggers come
Some little
out.
yeah, and
And
then they
you.
just they
Yeah.
they get you. All right, man. Cat.
All right.
Werecats. We did it. Peace.
Goodbye.